welcome to Better Together, a podcast about the Southern Baptist Convention's cooperative program presented by SBC This Week. I'm Lawrence Smith. Well, the Women's Missionary Union has played a key role in Southern Baptist mission since the very beginning of the convention. WMU Executive Director Sandy Wisdom Martin is our guest today as we learn more about the auxiliary's impact. As we look back at the last century, most people may not know of the role WMU played in getting the CP across the finish line. Talk about that history.
Well, Lawrence, thank you for allowing me to spend a few minutes talking to you about WMU's involvement in the cooperative program. I'm going to take a step back. It really started with the $75 million campaign. We were asked to be involved in that campaign, and we were asked to raise $15 million for the $75 million campaign. That was $10 million than we had ever raised in the previous 30 years. And they wanted us to raise $15 million in 5 years. And WMU said, yes, we will do that. And 22,000 women inked their signature that they would complete that. In 1919, the Royal Service, WMU's magazine, had a slogan across the front that said, "Millions for the Master." And by the time the campaign was done, we had raised our quota. We were the only SBC organization to complete our quota. And though the $75 million campaign fell short, it raised, I think, $58 million in that 5 years. That is more money than Southern Baptist had raised in the previous 74 years put together. And so there was a growing unity that there is something about this systematic giving that's good. And so when it came time for the cooperative program the conversation to emerge, WMU was in. So by 1923, Baptist leaders knew they had something special. And if they were going to move forward together, they would have to work together to do it. And so they asked WMU to join in. And when the committee was formed, 1/3 of the members were women. That had never happened before. A WMU officer from every convention was a part of this committee that gave birth to the cooperative program. And it didn't happen without a little bit of turmoil, the cooperative program. When Southern Baptist leadership came to WMU and said, you know what? We want you to stop giving your global and your international offerings because we're doing this new thing called the cooperative program. And the women said, we don't think that's a good idea. And so SBC leadership came back and said, okay, we're going to count your gifts to your global and international offerings against those entities' cooperative programs allocations. And WMU said, we don't think that's a good idea either. And they really fought for our mission boards and for what we could do together as an SBC family for the cause of Christ and proclaiming Christ in North America and beyond. And they kept at it, and the women were really passionate about the cooperative program.
We're all familiar with two big offerings, the Lottie Moon Christmas offering and the Annie Armstrong Easter offering.
Yeah.
Share with us the role those two women played in ensuring that, or raising the importance of a unified giving program.
Well, let me go back a little bit and tell you how WMU was organized, and that will help you understand why systematic giving, we are so passionate about systematic giving. WMU was organized at the request, really, of the boards. Dr. Tupper was at what is now the International Mission Board. It was then called the Foreign Mission Board, and he wanted to gather these Baptist committees of women to raise money for foreign missions. And Dr. Tishner at the Home Mission Board saw what he was doing and said, hey, I would like to join you in that. And Dr. Tupper said, no, find your own women. And so Dr. Tishner at the Home Board gathered these groups of women together for the cause of systematically raising money in missions. Lottie Moon was already in China, and she was writing letters back and saying, look, we need to organize the women for giving because we need to get into more fields of missions, and our missionaries are overworked and they're overburdened, and we need money. And the other denominations are really getting with it because they have a system and a plan, and we need to organize the women. So these central committees of Baptist women began meeting in 1884 at the Southern Baptist Convention. There was a resolution made that said, hey, this is working pretty good, let's make this permanent. And in 1888, the women organized. And the women organized specifically for the cause of raising money for missions. So it's really baked into our DNA. It's who we are at our core, to raise money for missions. And the women through the years have really sacrificed for what they believed in. In 1931, WMU members collected 50% of the cooperative program receipts. The small group of women paid nearly 50% of the cooperative program. In that same year, they gave 76% of the receipts of the two mission boards. So it was a small group of women who passionately believed in what they were doing, who were raising consciousness, calling Baptists to generosity for the cooperative program. WMU members kept track of tithers in their annual report, believe it or not. And so they knew what the women were giving. And in the 40s, WMU members carried 83% of the cooperative program receipts on average. Now, in the 1950s, they stopped keeping track of who gave the tithes. But by then, it was already ingrained in us. Stewardship and tithing was a tenet that was drilled into our consciousness and continues today as we call everyone to participate in God's mission around the world.
That history is amazing, of women in general and the WMU in particular, the role they played in getting to where we are now with the cooperative program.
Yeah.
You're out among Southern Baptists all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell Southern Baptists about what the cooperative program is allowing us to do that might not get done without it?
Well, Lawrence, could I say it a different way? What would happen if we didn't have the cooperative program? I think about that. If we didn't have the mechanism of the cooperative program, what would happen? 70% of the receipts of the cooperative program are direct mission dollars that go at home and abroad. 70 cents out of every dollar of the cooperative program goes directly to the mission field. In 2024, IMB reported that there were 1,600 people groups that were ministered to, and 77% of those people groups were unreached people groups. And out of the people that the missionaries shared the gospel with, 145,000 people came to faith in Christ. So if we didn't have the cooperative program, that would be 145,000 people who didn't hear the good news of Jesus Christ, who hadn't accepted Jesus Christ. But now 145,000 people have taken their place in God's plan and are helping to share his light around the world.
So from your perspective, what challenges do you see, and how are those challenges addressed as far as making sure the cooperative program has a bright future?
I think today, Lawrence, there's a distrust in institutions. I think there's a longing, especially for the younger generations, to have a tangible impact with their dollars. If they're going to give dollars, they want to know what the impact is going to be, and they want it to make an impact. I think just to be honest, I think there's financial pressure, especially with younger generations. I think there are different views on stewardship than maybe what you and I grew up with. And I think there's a lack of connection. So I think those are some of the things that cause a disconnect with the cooperative program. What do we do about that? I think we tell stories that show how our dollars make an impact. I think we have to teach stewardship and tithing and generosity. As unpopular as that may sound, it is biblical principles that I think that we need to share. I think we need to allow young people a seat at the table in leadership. If we're asking them to give, they want to have a voice and they want to be leaders. So I think we need to invite them to a table. And then I think we just have to connect with people one at a time. When I was a young adult, I started benefiting from the cooperative program from my state convention, going to evangelism events for youth and for mission camps. And the state convention employees knew me and called me by name. These were my heroes of the faith. And when they knew me and called me by name, that did something significant for me to help me understand that I was a part of something bigger than my little country church in Southern Illinois. And I think that's what we have to do with the generations today. We have to bring them along and help them understand why it is so special to be a part of the SBC family and what the SBC family has to offer. And I think the best approach is to do that one person at a time.
Well, Cindy, thank you. And thanks for the work that WMU is doing to get that message out about the cooperative program and what God is doing through Southern Baptist.
Thank you, Lawrence. We appreciate it. And it's our sacred privilege to be advocates for the cooperative program.
And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time as we once again explore all the ways that Southern Baptists are really better together through the cooperative program.